Now at 9, Freeman Health System cancels plans for a new Southeast Kansas hospital more than a year after breaking ground. Plus,
the Coffeyville Fire Department is delivering more than just safety tips. They're delivering pizza. I'm Blake Gully. I'll have that story coming up.
In Humboldt, the Cubs Community Care Center opens its doors. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll have more on that coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Freeman Health System has decided not to build a new hospital in Southeast Kansas more than a year after the company officially broke ground. This is KOAM News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker. The decision comes after Freeman launched a feasibility study for the project earlier this year. Freeman says the feasibility study considered multiple factors, including the impact of pending legislation, including the One Big Beautiful Bill, and evolving challenges in rural health care. Both of those variables contributed to the final decision not to continue with the hospital. In a statement, Frontenac's mayor says, quote, "While we're disappointed, I want to be clear. This was not a reflection of Frontenac's infrastructure, readiness, or performance as a working partner." Freeman services are still available in Pittsburgh and in their Fort Scott location, which opened just last month. Police investigate a shooting in Sarcoxie that sent one man to the hospital last night. The incident happened just after 8 p.m. on Minor Street. Officers say the man was taken to the hospital before they arrived. His injuries are believed to be non-life-threatening. Investigators say they have a suspect in custody and believe this was an isolated incident. A serious crash this morning in Jasper County turns fatal. Reports of the crash on Fur Road just east of Peace Church Avenue came in just before 6:45. Troopers say an eastbound car rear-ended a pickup waiting to turn onto a private drive. 2 people inside the car were rushed to an area hospital. Around 8:30, Carl Junction police state the crash was fatal. No further information has been released at this time. Head over to our website, KOAMNewsNow.com, as more details become available. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with the first look at weather.
Definitely turned out to be a great Wednesday for us today. Temperatures really fantastic, right about where we should be for this time of the year. Still going to be chilly next couple nights. We're going to drop into the 50s again tonight and then again as we go into Thursday night, but a smidge warmer Thursday. We're talking about upper 70s. Maybe some showers on Friday, which would be great, and then it heats up. It gets toasty again as we head into the weekend. Not much going on. Pretty much clear skies. That's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours tonight. We are going to get some clouds kind of thickening up a little bit as we get toward the morning, low to mid 50s. There could be a sprinkle or two, and then we start to warm up into the upper 70s during the afternoon. But we also have a chance to get some showers in here on Friday morning. We're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doug. It's National Fire Prevention Week, and firefighters in Coffeyville, Kansas are finding a creative way to spread safety awareness. KOAM's Blake Gully shows us how a local partnership is helping protect families, one slice at a time.
That sound is something the Coffeyville Fire Department hopes every home will recognize and respond to. In between emergency calls, the firefighters traded their gear for pizza boxes, teaming up with Domino's to make sure residents have working smoke alarms.
What excites me about today is just being in the community, being out and about, teaching those in the community about how to be safe around their homes and to prevent fires. You know, we're here to do a job, and that is to fight fires if they occur. But ultimately, if a fire starts, it puts us in danger, it puts the community in danger, and it puts those that are in the home in danger. So being out today is just to let people be aware of how they can be safe in their homes and prevent fires.
As communities across the nation celebrate Fire Prevention Week, the Coffeyville Fire Department wants to stress the importance of fire safety.
When somebody has working smoke detectors in their home, it has been proven that 50% more lives are saved with working smoke detectors. Checking your batteries every time the time changes. Check your batteries on your smoke detectors.
Some community members were surprised to find out their pizza was free if their smoke detectors worked, but say it's a reminder that being prepared can make all the difference.
It means everything. I mean, it gives you such a sense of peace to know that your home is ready and that you will be warned. So you can have a plan I do have a step stool in the bedroom, so I can get to the window. I just have to drop out the window.
A free pizza is nice, but firefighters say safety is the real reward. Reporting in Coffeyville, Kansas, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
Another option is the American Red Cross. The organization says they'll install and test smoke detectors for free. Well, the Student Government Association at Pittsburgh State University is gearing up for the Fall into Service program. The program will provide volunteer services to the community and raise money for local organizations like the SEK Humane Society and the Lord's Diner. Over 150 students are signed up to participate in the initiative, with over 10 organizations pledged to be part of the efforts. Joplin's Independent Living Center hosts its first ever eye care health fair for the community. But up first, the pediatric experts teach parents the critical sleep safety rules every new family needs to know. October is Safe Sleep and Sudden Infant Death Syndrome Awareness Month. Unsafe sleep environments are a leading cause of death for young children. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains how remembering the ABCs of sleep can help keep babies safe.
Keeping babies safe isn't just a day job. At night, some parents may unknowingly be putting their child at risk.
Hearing the screams and cries of a parent who has lost their child while they were sleeping is really awful, and it really never leaves you.
In 2022, there were about 3,700 sudden unexpected infant deaths in the U.S., more than 1,500 from sudden infant death syndrome, more than 1,100 from unknown causes, and more than 1,000 deaths from accidental suffocation and strangulation in bed. That's why knowing how to keep babies safe is critical, says Dr. Sarah Lazarus with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
We recommend the ABCs of safe sleep.
A is for alone. Babies should always sleep by themselves in their crib or bassinet. Sharing a bed or napping on the couch puts a baby at risk of suffocation. B stands for back. An infant should always be placed flat on their back on a firm surface. Their neck muscles aren't strong enough to prevent suffocation if they sleep on their stomach. And finally, C is for clear. The crib should be void of blankets, toys, bumper pads, and any other items. The mattress should be firm and covered only in a fitted sheet.
The clearer the crib is, the safer it is for your infant.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Independent Living Center in Joplin hosted its first ever eye care health fair. The event, organized by Southwest Missouri Vision Connections, highlighted eye disease prevention, healthy lifestyles, and resources available for those living with vision loss. Visitors could learn about healthy eating, get their blood pressure checked, and pick up information from local health providers.
Not just this region, I'll say period, but throughout the state of Missouri, we found out that a lot of us that are blind and visually impaired tend to be a little sedentary. We're kind of don't do too much exercise. So I started doing the chair exercises to kind of get us moving a little bit. It's things that older people can do.
Attendees also had a chance to experience what it's like to navigate with limited vision. Timely, since October is World Blindness Awareness Month. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, the U.S. economy shows mixed signals as spending gaps widen and gold prices surge past $4,000.
It definitely turned out to be a fantastic day for us today. It's been nice to kind of cool down into the 70s where we should be for this time of the year after we've had a pretty long stretch of 80s for highs, but we dropped officially down to 53 during the morning hours. We got up to about 76 this afternoon, average high 75, so this is very typical for today. Sadly, because I know most of you want to see these 70s, we go back up. We heat up as we go into the weekend. We have pretty much clear skies, not much going on. We're going to stay nice and calm as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. In fact, there's nothing really going on across the entire lower 48, so pretty calm little stretch. No big storm systems. Let me walk you through time so you know what's going to happen. We get some mid and upper level clouds. Here's 6:30 in the morning. Still kind of cool, well, chilly, crisp, mid-50s, 55, 56 degrees. Through the morning, there could be a random sprinkle. Most of you won't see a single drop. During the afternoon, smidge warmer. Today, 76. Tomorrow, I think about 78 degrees. Let me take you into tomorrow night. Look at the winds start to switch back out of the south, and that's going to slowly warm us up as we head toward the weekend. Now, here's 5:30 Friday morning. We're in the upper 50s again. A little weak band of showers, mainly affecting central Missouri, but we are close enough to it. We'll most likely get some showers, maybe even a random thunderstorm. Nevada, Stockton, Lamar, maybe as far west as Fort Scott. These will drop southeast, hit and miss through southwest Missouri, and then kind of falling apart as we get into Friday afternoon. We'll rebound right around 80 degrees once again as we go into Friday afternoon. So at least some of us are going to get a little bit of rain as we go through Friday morning. It's not much. I think the areas that do get it, maybe 1/10 of an inch, maybe 2/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch in spots in southwestern Missouri, but we'll take whatever we can get. All right, day planner on your Thursday, 58 start, 72 by noon, high temp, 78 degrees. Let's jump into 4-State Friday night. High school football looks great, 75 at kickoff, 68 by the fourth quarter. We'll definitely take it. As we head into the weekend, see this little bump here with the flow? That's an upper level ridge that is going to build in, and that is why our temperatures are going to start to heat back up. Let's look at it. Let's go into Saturday. Slight chance for a shower to start. Look at this, mid-80s during the afternoon. Let's go upper 80s as we go into Sunday. So it's toasty once again. We have a front that drops in. Here's Monday. This could give us some hit-miss scattered light showers into Friday afternoon. Then the front kind of stalls on us and we get some waves that override that front, giving us chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms into Tuesday. This lifts north by the time we head into Wednesday, and then we get additional chances again late in the week, which is great news that we're seeing the rain trend kind of pick up a little bit. 78 on your Thursday, 82 Friday, 84 Saturday, 87 on Sunday. We stay into the 80s most of next week. Sam?
Thanks, Doug. Coming up next, Trump pushes for a Middle East peace as regional leaders credit him with breaking the diplomatic stalemate.
American negotiators joined the Gaza peace talks. I'm Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. I've got the details coming up.
We're here to help.
While the government shutdown continues, Missouri farmers are looking for answers when it comes to where they're going to sell their crops and if the government will be able to supply them with a much-needed aid package the president says he would like to give out. Chris Bryan has more on how tariff wars with China are also taking a toll.
The American farmer really wants is just an even playing field, level playing field.
The United States is the second largest producer of soybeans in the world. China makes up 60% of the total number of imports of soybeans in the world.
But these relationships that we have with countries like China, they were built over, decades. They're not something that just, we enter and exit, on a whim.
Former Brad Arnold says China not purchasing soybeans this year is really hurting Missouri farmers. And those tasked with feeding the country and helping to feed the world know it takes faith to work the fields.
We're the ultimate gambler, I guess, as farmers. That's a true test of faith to put something in the ground and hope that it grows, hope that it rains, and then hope that the government does what they can do to, support our trade agreements.
But could help from Washington be on the way?
The ability to offset any payments to the farmers through potential tariff revenue is really where the president wants us to head, and that's what we're looking at.
The Missouri Department of Agriculture says the United States hasn't had any new markets and has actually lost a couple of existing markets in the last couple of years. And soybean farmers could take a serious hit to the bottom line without a buyer.
They have more supply than we have demand at this point in time, and they're going to need some help to be able to get to the next growing season next year.
That would be the potential $13 billion farm aid package from Washington.
Farmers are kind of caught in the middle. And that's why I think I would support what Trump is attempting to do, but it's not a long-term fix.
Congressman Eric Burleson says the recent production by Argentina and China stopping its purchasing means the United States has to have farmers' backs.
The goal is to get us to a place where our soybean farmers are able to compete competitively throughout the rest of the world.
However, nothing happens until the government shutdown comes to an end and someone steps up to help the American people.
I'm fully in support of the returning to the way we used to do things, which is past the 12 appropriation bills.
The University of Missouri reports the state is home to nearly 86,000 farms and ranks in the top 10 for soybean production in the nation. The Missouri Director of Agriculture says no one wants to be the generation who loses the family farm, but is hopeful Missouri and the United States can and will find those new markets. Salesforce says it will not, quote, engage, negotiate with, or pay an extortion demand after cyber criminals claim to have stolen nearly $1 billion of the cloud-based software firm's files. The hacker group is connected to a string of ransomware attacks on British retailers. A hacker who claims to be part of the group says the files were obtained through attacks on the company's customers. Salesforce says it's investigating the claims and providing customer support. There are scores of traditional, time-tested gauges of the U.S. economy's health and its trajectory. Federal data on employment, production, spending, income, and other critical areas factor heavily. Ivan Rodriguez has more on some lesser-known indicators.
By traditional measures, the U.S. economy, even with its sticky inflation and softening labor market, is stable.
They're not great. They could definitely be better. They could definitely be worse.
Despite the sustained pressure of high prices shaking consumer confidence, Americans are also still spending. But there is a widening spending gap between high and low income consumers, and signs revealing how people are spending their money may be changing.
We've delayed car purchases some. Appliances, electronics, we've slowed down on that. Travel, we've slowed down on that.
Virginia Tech economics professor Jadrian Wooten points to less obvious indicators of economic discomfort, like cardboard box manufacturing, which is down 9% in 2025 amid U.S. factory closures and cutbacks.
If cardboard box manufacturers were not making as many boxes, that meant that stores were not ordering as many boxes because they didn't anticipate selling as many products in the future.
This week, the price of gold surged past $4,000 per ounce, another possible red flag for the state of affairs.
People are trying to invest money in something that they feel is going to be really stable. And a lot of people do run to gold whenever the markets are a little bit uncertain.
Wooten says even though many are worried about what lies ahead, the health of the U.S. economy relies on its consumers.
If a lot of people think a recession is coming, they're going to pull back on spending. And one of the problems with that is when they pull back on spending, that's actually what ends up causing the recession to happen.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Coming up next, Humboldt opens a new community care facility offering health care, mental health, and daycare services. Community resources are always a need, and thanks to a partnership in Humboldt, folks have a new way to learn about what's offered. KOAM's Kenny Foreman takes us to the Cubs Community Center for the story.
Families in Humboldt interested in various services, they may no longer need to look far.
As we explore what needs to be in place for Humboldt to be a vibrant community, we need things like healthcare and mental health care and daycare, and we need education opportunities for people to be able to extend those.
The new Cubs Community Care Facility offers just that. Made possible thanks to a grant and partnerships, dozens of community members took in the ribbon cutting and were introduced to what the facility has to offer.
I've heard great reports from the community members about the excitement of being able to have different types of facilities available and having health care so close and being able to expand that.
Though the partnership between USD 258 and the Mental Health Center has already been well established, the hope is that the facility will help expand the center's outreach to even more students and families.
Those children who may be struggling and in need now have that ready access to the therapeutic support, the community-based support that can help them grow and develop and better focus on their education.
Another mission, building stronger connections with the families.
For every child that may be struggling, there's a family who may be in the background struggling as well, whether it's the parents, the siblings, extended family. So it's a connection opportunity whereby we can then early intervene, offer support, and help better educate.
In Humboldt, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The grant is federally funded and was awarded to the center a year and a half ago. In addition to a partnership with the school district, the health center is also teaming up with Allen County Community College. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The European Union doubles steel tariffs to 50% in response to Trump's trade policies. And former FBI Director James Comey pleads not guilty to federal charges in a Virginia court.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
The European Union is doubling its tariffs on steel, in line with the U.S. as manufacturers in the industry feel the impact of the Trump administration's levies. It comes as the White House says revenue from tariffs will help to sustain a food program for low-income mothers and children. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from the White House.
The European Union is announcing a proposal to match President Trump's steel tariffs and double its levies on imports to 50%. The Commission says it will also cut the amount of steel that can be imported into the bloc by half. But UK manufacturers say most of their steel imports go to the EU and warn the move could disrupt the flow of trade.
We are using it to make sure that our producers would be competitive, and only when the exports are exceeding this newly established quota.
EU officials say due to rising imports and U.S. tariffs, steel producers in the bloc are operating at only 67% capacity. The proposal is seen as a stepping stone to get President Trump back to the negotiating table and make a deal to lower tariffs.
President Trump is engineering a fundamental restructuring of the international trade environment so that we are no longer penalized by the rules of the World Trade Organization, which fundamentally skew against us.
The Treasury Department reported more than $31 billion in tariff revenue last month. On Tuesday, the White House announced some of that money will help support a federally funded food program for women and children, which is at risk of disruption during the government shutdown. Democrats say tariffs are doing more harm than good.
The Trump tariffs are adding thousands of dollars of additional expenses to everyday Americans right now.
Next month, the Supreme Court will take up the Trump administration's appeal over tariffs that were blocked by lower courts. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Former FBI Director James Comey pleaded not guilty to federal charges Wednesday. Comey was in court in Alexandria, Virginia to face charges of making false statements to Congress and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. Critics say the charges are President Trump's revenge for Comey's investigation into his 2016 campaign. A trial was set for January 5th, and attorneys on both sides said they expect it to last 2 to 3 days. Comey could face a maximum of 5 years in prison if convicted. President Trump and envoys Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are joining high-level peace talks in Egypt aimed at ending the 2-year war between Israel and Hamas. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has more from Tel Aviv.
There's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East.
President Trump says he's optimistic about a deal to end the fighting in Gaza as talks enter their 3rd day. The U.S. team, led by Jared Kushner and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, is now participating in the negotiations, focused on the president's 20-point peace plan.
There are Egyptian, American, and Qatari delegations. There are also Israelis, of course, and the words I received were very encouraging.
And early indications are that some progress is being made. Regional leaders say Hamas is ready to make a deal, and the details are being ironed out.
The Palestinian resistance group Hamas has given a very positive response to President Trump's peace plan, clearly demonstrating its will for peace.
President Trump says he'll push Israel's Arab neighbors to help implement the agreement, which is centered on Hamas disarming and releasing all the hostages in exchange for an Israeli withdrawal from Gaza.
We have a lot of power, and we're going to do everything possible to make sure everybody adheres to the deal.
The Israeli offensive in Gaza is largely paused as negotiations continue, with some leaders here crediting President Trump for breaking the diplomatic stalemate.
I extend special thanks to President Donald Trump for his tireless efforts to bring about real change and a new direction in the Middle East.
A senior Hamas official says negotiators exchanged lists of Palestinian prisoners and Israeli hostages that are set to be released if a deal is reached. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Coming up, Taylor Swift breaks sales records while the Rolling Stones return to IMAX theaters.
It definitely turned out to be a fantastic day for us today. It's been nice to kind of cool down into the 70s where we should be for this time of the year after we've had a pretty long stretch of 80s, 4 highs, but we dropped officially down to 53. During the morning hours, we got up to about 76 this afternoon. Average high 75, so this is very typical for today. Sadly, because I know most of you want to see these 70s, we go back up. We heat up as we go into the weekend. We have pretty much clear skies, not much going on. We're going to stay nice and calm as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. In fact, there's nothing really going on across the entire lower 48, so pretty calm little stretch. No big storm systems. Let me walk you through time so you know what's going to happen. We get some mid and upper level clouds. Here's 6:30 in the morning. Still kind of cool, well, chilly, crisp. Mid 50s, 55, 56 degrees. Through the morning, there could be a random sprinkle. Most of you won't see a single drop. During the afternoon, smidge warmer. Today, 76. Tomorrow, I think about 78 degrees. Let me take you into tomorrow night. Look at the winds start to switch back out of the south, and that's going to slowly warm us up as we head toward the weekend. Now, here's 5:30 Friday morning. We're in the upper 50s again. A little weak band of showers, mainly affecting central Missouri, but we are close enough to it. We'll most likely get some showers, maybe even a random thunderstorm. Nevada, Stockton, Lamar, maybe as far west as Fort Scott. These will drop southeast, hit and miss through southwest Missouri, and then kind of falling apart as we get into Friday afternoon. We'll rebound right around 80 degrees once again as we go into Friday afternoon. So at least some of us are going to get a little bit of rain as we go through Friday morning. It's not much. I think the areas that do get it, maybe 1/10 of an inch, maybe 2/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch in spots in southwestern Missouri, but we'll take whatever we can get. All right, day planner on your Thursday, 58 start, 72 by noon, high temp, 78 degrees. Let's jump into 4-State Friday night. High school football looks great, 75 at kickoff, 68 by the fourth quarter. We'll definitely take it. As we head into the weekend, see this little bump here with the flow? That's an upper level ridge that is going to build in, and that is why our temperatures are going to start to heat back up. Let's look at it. Let's go into Saturday. Slight chance for a shower to start. Look at this, mid 80s during the afternoon. Let's go upper 80s as we go into Sunday. So it's toasty once again. We have a front that drops in. Here's Monday. This could give us some hit miss scattered light showers into Friday afternoon. Then the front kind of stalls on us and we get some waves that override that front, giving us chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms into Tuesday. This lifts north by the time we head into Wednesday, and then we get additional chances again late in the week, which is great news that we're seeing the rain trend kind of pick up a little bit. 78 on your Thursday, 82 Friday, 84 Saturday, 87 on Sunday. We stay into the 80s most of next week. Sam?
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, following the MIAA Basketball Media Day on Monday, we heard from the Pitt State Gorillas men's and women's teams yesterday. When we return, we'll hear from Missouri Southern's men's and women's squads as they gear up for the season.
MIAA Basketball Media Day has come and gone, and that means basketball season is rapidly approaching. For the Missouri Southern Lions men's team, they enter this season motivated to get back to their winning ways. A key for the Lions this season is a trio of returning starters with Isaiah Atwater, Jaden Taylor, and Tyrone Wright Jr. back in the green and gold. After joining the program ahead of the 2024-25 year, this trio, they've been taking on bigger roles in the court and as leaders as MSSU welcomes 8 newcomers to the roster.
Those guys were all new. You know, that was the first Division II basketball those guys have played was last year. For them to get a year under their belt and this season and to play a MIAA schedule, that's huge for us. They've learned, they know what going to Northwest Missouri is like. They know what home games at MIAA is like. So they're only going to improve and they're only going to lead these guys. And I'm excited about that core. They've really taken that next step.
As the Lions gear up for the start of the season next month, their focus is on defense. After allowing the most points per game in the MIAA a year ago, head coach Sam McMahon says that his team needs to set the tone defensively, applying heavy pressure to their opponents.
We need to set the tone on the defensive end. We've got to, and our new guys will do that. In our returners, they got to get better as well. We've got to really take pride in that and getting one step at a time and being aggressive and causing more turnovers. That's a lot of different factors. We need to have more active hands, keeping the ball in front of us, more ball pressure, and our guys are committed to doing that.
Missouri Southern travels to Springfield for an exhibition against Missouri State on November 4th, prior to their season opener on the 14th in the MIAA GAC Challenge at home against Arkansas Tech. The Lions women's basketball squad is coming off their fourth straight winning season a year ago. But as MSSU enters the 2025-26 season, a lot of new faces will need to step up and take on key roles. The Lions only returned 2 players with experience from last year and have 0 seniors on the roster. With the need for new faces to play significant minutes, head coach Ronnie Ressel spoke about a few athletes that he expects to be key pieces in the rotation, including Nariah Clay and Ashlyn Alloway, who both sat out last year.
We had a couple kids sitting out. Nariah Clay, who sat out, we redshirted her last year from Morton Community College. I think she's a kid that's going to come in and really be productive for us. And Ashlyn Alloway, again, another transfer from Lincoln who sat out last year, was a third-team All-League her sophomore year. Is going to give us some really good minutes and do some very positive things. Then we got a couple JUCO kids I think that can do some positive things for us, and Nikki Lillard and Hattie Pyle from Frontenac that, you know, they just compete and they play hard.
I'm just excited to play. I've always been under the impression you never know how much you miss something until it's taken from you. So I'm just excited to play, get out there, be a role that I need to be, and just do whatever I need to do.
Similar to the Lions men's team, Missouri Southern's focus entering the season comes on the defensive end of the floor. Compared to a year ago, MSSU lacks size, but has a lot of speed. And that emphasis on defense can help the Lions get into transition, fast break opportunities to speed up the game's tempo.
That's going to be a big key for us is on the defensive side of the ball. Last year at times we struggled guarding, and I think this year is one that we've been making focus here in our preseason. One with our conditioning, because like I said, we want to get out and we want to play a little faster than we did last year, but the physicality as well. And then again, you got to be able to rebound. That's a matter of a mindset. You got to want to go rebound. You got to chase the ball.
Our defense needs to be a main focus, just because we don't have a whole lot of size like we did last year, so us just kind of pushing the ball up the floor. So offensively, that's probably our main goal. So maybe just outrun some people. So that comes a lot with what we do in practice and just kind of putting that work in early.
Lions open their season on November 14th as they travel to Sioux Falls, South Dakota for a matchup against the Augustana Vikings. That's it for your sports. We're back with more after the break.
This isn't exactly breaking news, but Taylor Swift's new album is a hit. David Daniel has details and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl has sold 3 million copies in just 2 days. Music sales tracker Luminate says that's already the second biggest sales week of the modern era, trailing only Adele's 25 a decade ago. Of course, Swift's latest blockbuster has 5 more days to set the record. The only concert feature ever filmed with IMAX cameras is returning to theaters. Rolling Stones at the Max, filmed during the band's 1990 Steel Wheels Urban Jungle Tour, has been digitally remastered with a brand new sound mix. Tickets go on sale October 23rd for a limited run in IMAX theaters worldwide beginning December 10th.
The houses are bigger, the weather is warmer, and tan lines are outstanding.
Beverly Hills 90210 is 35 years old. To celebrate, Paramount is releasing all 10 seasons remastered in 4K Ultra HD. The series bundle hits digital platforms October 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Up next, a faithful dog saves the day by guiding rescuers to his fallen elderly owner. If this one doesn't melt your heart, nothing will. In Florida, a happy ending after tense moments as a deputy is led directly to the location of a missing elderly woman by the loyal dog she was walking. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
This is the story of Eeyore, a heroic dog in Florida that led a sheriff's deputy directly to an injured woman gone missing. Okaloosa County Deputy Devin Miller responded to a report of an elderly woman who didn't return from a walk with her son's dog in a Destin neighborhood.
She never takes more than 10 or 15 minutes. It's almost an hour now.
After interviewing the woman's distraught husband, Deputy Miller began searching the area and soon...
There's the dog.
Spotted the dog, named Eeyore. Yep, just like the perpetually depressed donkey from Winnie the Pooh. But whereas that Eeyore likely would have shrugged and said, "Why bother?" This Eeyore went above and beyond.
Tell me where Mama is.
Leading the deputy from her vehicle directly to the spot where the missing 86-year-old woman had fallen on a sidewalk. She was unable to get up, but alert, and couldn't believe how the deputy had found her.
He wouldn't believe. He kept coming back to me. I'm not even his owner. I'm his grandmother.
The deputy called EMS and got the woman the help she needed, all thanks to the heroics of one very sweet and very loyal pupster.
Oh, Eeyore, you're a good boy. Grandma loved you.
Ask anyone in law enforcement and they'll likely tell you policing a community effectively is a delicate dance. Case in point, check out the moves on this Tulsa, Oklahoma officer who was responding to a noise complaint of loud music from a gathering. The officer did issue a citation, but before leaving, got into the groove himself. The department later said the people out there appreciated his style and also agreed to turn the music down. It just goes to show that Gloria Estefan was right. Eventually, the rhythm is going to get you. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of Brawny, the orangutan, enjoying a cool treat at the San Francisco Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.